In this video, we're going to have a look at some more advanced features used by website administrators, project managers, and other people who manage the website. As you learned from the basic training video, um, everything is color-coded on the web space. For example, the project is colored blue, so everything related to the functions that we can find on a project tab is colored blue. Everything related to the messages is yellow. For the documents, it's all orange. Contract is green, and analysis is purple. So you always know where you are on the web space, whether you are in a documents, messages, or project section. In this video, we'll also check and go through the functions related to the project, such as adding a new project, adding new or existing users. We'll have a look what the rules are and how to edit permissions. We'll check what the profile is, sending admin messages, user statistics, and some other functions. Also on the documents, we'll find out how to create the new directory or folder, how to move them around, say up or down, how to assign permissions for different roles to view documents in those folders. Under contract, we'll check some other functions like summary. This is where we can print out the whole stack of contracts like RFIs, DCI, variations, and etc. all on one page. Also on the analysis page, we'll go through different tabs and we'll see how we can manage the project based on time, access, and other different features. So the first thing we'll review is how to add a new project. For that, we go from the project mode to global mode. So we just click on global, and then we go to project. So we go to project projects, and then we click add new project. Right, so we give it a number. It's a compulsory field. We give it a name. If we have a template, then we can also select the template, so we don't have to create the folder structure from scratch manually, so we can select it from the template. Then who will be the project manager? We can always adjust it later, and then add, and now we can see that project has been created. And if we go to details and edit, we can always fill out more fields if we require. So let's have a look at how we add users. So usually we have to log on to the project and go to project users, and then there is a button add user. So when clicking on that button, it gives us an option either to add an existing user or add a new one. So if the user exists on the website, on the web space, say from another project, then we just click add existing user and then select that person from the list, highlight, and then if we want to add that person with the same role, we just leave it current role or assign a new one, and then click add, and then this person will be added to the project test. If it's a completely new user, say in the new company, then we click add new company, type the name of the company, add, then we type the name of the person, initials, login name, then we assign the role, we give it a mail address, we can also fill out the other details so we can edit them later, and then we click add, and that person will be added to this particular project. Sometimes the system will give you a warning that the user already exists, so if you overlook that that person is already on a system, just check on the existing users, or that person might be in deactivated users. So for example, that user was in a project that was completed a while ago and the project was deactivated. Then you have to check in reactivate user section, and then you can choose what person to select and reactivate. Also, there might be a conflict with login name, because the login name and initials must be unique for every person, for every user on the web space. Say if the system gives you a warning message that the initials or login name already exists, just try a different combination. Say add more letters to the login name or initial. The next thing we want to have a look at is documents administration. This is where we create new directories and folders, and also we assign permissions to who can access those folders and who can see them, who can upload and revise documents. For example, to create a new directory, we click New Directory button, and we type in the name, say directory 3, add, and it'll appear on the directory column. To create a new folder, we click a New Folder button, type in new folder, say folder 1 in directory 3, click add, and we can see that folder appears in there. You can also move up and down folders or directories by clicking the arrow buttons. Say if we want directory 3 be in front of directory 2, we just click up arrow a couple of times, and now we see the order has changed. So now there is directory 1, directory 2 and 3, and then directory 2. So how it looks on the documents section is when we select it from the drop-down menu, it would appear after directory 1. But before we can see directory 3 that we just created, we have to go back to administration and assign permissions for roles who can see that directory. Okay, we click on it and scroll down to permissions section. As you can see, no boxes are ticked at the moment, and I'm logged on under website administrator, and it's not ticked. So I select grant all button, which gives me view, download and add revise permissions. The same we can assign to different users. Say project manager role, we grant all. For the contractor, we only give view and download access, and say for the consultant it might be full access, which means they can view, they can download and open the document, and they can add and revise drawings on the website. Then we have to click update permissions, and now we see that under documents there's directory 3. Alright, so now we can add documents and revise them. If we go back to administration, we can select we can set folders to inherit permissions, and we can also copy permissions to folders in this directory 3, so that we don't have to do it manually on each folder in the directory. Okay, now we go to the project roles, and we can have a look at how we create a new role and what that means. Okay, everything is managed by roles on the web space, and all users assign particular roles. Say if we go to users, we see that different people have different roles. It might be consultant, project manager, user, contractor, guest, client, which means that all users that have been assigned particular role have a certain access level to different folders and communication. Say by default a consultant cannot communicate to the contractor directly unless the project manager gives them permission to see each other and talk to each other. The same way we can assign who can see folders and who can do what on the folder level. So for that we have project roles, and to create a new role we click a new role button and we give it a name, say site manager. And if we want to copy permissions from other roles, we can also do that, or just leave it blank and then add, and we see that the site manager role has been added. Now we can set what this person can do, what that role can do. So we expand the plus sign, clicking on the plus sign, we expand all the permissions and double check what this person can do. So we in many cases we need document permissions, and then we can see that that person can edit folder, edit directory, edit permissions, and etc. So there are a few different tick boxes that you want to go through and allow or disallow that role. Also, whether this role can see contracts, for example, requests for information. So unless we tick C, tick box, that role site manager won't even see the request for information on their login. So the same for other sections. And once we checked what we want this person to allow, we have to click apply and synchronize. Alright, so that's roles. Profile shows us the permission in a tree-like formation. So for example, website administrator is assigned 1, project manager is assigned 2 ones, so which means those people can do and see everything on a website. But then for example, consultant and say contractor, we can assign them different numbers, so which means they have different access levels and they won't be able to communicate to each other directly. Say they won't be able to see each other when they select new message, and they can't pretty much talk to each other through the website. Number 9 means that those people also won't see each other, so they won't be able to communicate to each other. It's mostly for the guests, so it's for the guest access. We put them under 9 column. So where we can find these numbers is we go to roles and then select a person who we want to edit permission, say consultant, edit, expand general, and then we expand project access permissions. So project access permissions, and there is a section called security node. So security node is where we select where this role will go to. So that's effective permissions. The website administrator 1, project manager 1, and all the rest will be split into different columns. Okay, and then we have to click apply and synchronize. Message permissions. Message permissions is where we enable different roles explicitly to be able to communicate to each other. For example, as I said, a consultant by default cannot directly communicate to the say guest or contractor or client. If for some reason we want to allow them to send messages to each other, we click on a consultant role and select send to and receive from a contractor. So two-way communication, and then hit update. Now we see that a consultant can send messages to and receive from a contractor. Okay. The next thing is if we go to global and then project, we see the templates. Templates are folder templates that we use on a project. So if we don't want to create a new folder structure every time the new project starts, we go to the templates and we can create a new one, which means clicking on the new template, test, we create a new folder structure. So we add folders, say folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. We add directory 1, directory 2, directory 3, or it can be I don't know, architectural, hydraulic, mechanical, fire, etc. And then we save it as a template, which means the next time we create a project, the folder structure is already there, so we don't have to go through administration and create folders and directories one by one. So the whole structure will be already there with assigned permissions. Okay, the next thing we want to have a look at is user project map. User project map is a very convenient tool for the project administrators, which visually represents in which projects particular users participate in. So they may be part of one project or they may be part of different projects. For that we go to global mode and then to projects and then click button user project map. Say if we want to see all users, we just scroll down and we check by project and we can see what users are in this project. If we want to find a particular user, say we select it, click update, and now we see that Helen is part of test project 1. If we want to find, say, another person, click update, and now we know that this person is a part of 3 different projects: test project 1, 2, and demo, and that's his name. Also we know the role and the status, whether it's active or deactivated. More function. Moth also gives you very visual information on what other people see on their login. For example, you want to check what a say particular person can see when he logs in onto the project. Then we just select that person, and now we can see that we morphed as a person with the name test. Okay, and then we can quickly go through the different sections and make sure that that person is allowed to do any uploads, and he can see particular folders. If not, then we just go back to administration and tick the checkboxes to make sure that he can do things on the website. Also, we can select inbox, and in new message we can also see who he's able to send the messages to, because sometimes people complain that okay, I can't select people from different company, different roles, because they're not on my login. And that way we can double check that yes, that's right, that person is doing all correct, but the information doesn't appear on his login. And it gives us quick and visual understanding of the problem. Once we fix it, then we can always go back and check that the problem has been resolved. Okay, and to return we click return button. Right. Okay, the next thing we want to have a look at is contract, how to edit the contract messages. So we click the button under project, edit contract messages. So that's the path. We go to projects, edit contract messages, and this is where we can create and customize our contract forms like RFI, DCI, variations, and etc. So we can completely customize it and create a new form. For example, if we go to edit RFI, we see that that particular contract is called RFI, and that's what we can do with it. Say for example, we go back and we check variation. We see that we can edit and add more options. For example, if it's a variation, we can add a cost, and that cost will appear on the login. When we go to say project, logon, contract, variation. So when we create the new variation, we'll see the field for the dollar value. The contract will be adjusted by a certain amount of dollars. Say might be 50, might be 100, depends on what project manager approves. The same way we can allow a field for the time value. So in the delay notice, for example, if we go new delay notice, we'll see the value in days. Say it can be 1 day, it can be 2 days, or say if it's hours, then we have to put a decimal point, say 0.1 or 0.2 of an hour. Okay, so the same way we can adjust other contract messages. Admin messages, you can find other project admin messages. We use it for notifying different clients or everyone in a system of a particular event. Say there is an upgrade on a website, or the website will be unavailable, or we can notify only particular roles, say site manager, and so on. Usage statistics is normally where project managers or website administrators monitor what projects are active or inactive, the bandwidth and usage. Similar way, in the analysis, we can find some summary and statistic information on different messages, documents, and contracts. For example, under analysis summary, we can see the total numbers of companies. Say on the website there are 14 companies, the number of users, 19 users, a number of projects for this site, so there are 16 projects, number of messages, 77, documents, and say the last week how many logins. Say for the last week there were 5 logins, 0 document uploads, and 2 messages were sent for the last week. In messages we can find some statistics information on the messages that have been sent in the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or a few days, and we can visually see who sent or received them. Then under messages tab we can break it down to percentage sent. Say TBD Technology sent 84% of total messages, and this is the number of messages. Under documents we can also break it down by the company. Say TBD Technology uploaded 87% of all the documents on the website, and this is a number of documents. On the structure we can also check by project. So test project 1 has different directories and folders, so we can see what directories and folders are in project 1, and also number of documents in them. Also we can view the full list and select it by project. Then under contract we can check per project the total cost and time, adjusted cost, adjusted time versus initial, and increase in percentage. So it's mostly for monitoring the whole number of projects. In RFI section we can see the number of RFI messages sent in the last 3 days, 14 days, and etc. So it's a really good time-based management tool for the project. In the same way we can view design change request, variation price request, and also we can display it per project or per company. And another good tool is under contract summary. We can click summary and view the whole list of all contracts, all design change requests, all variations, design change requests, all in one page. And we can also print it out. Say we go print, and then we can print it as PDF and save it on a computer or send it to someone else. That completes our advanced admin video.